I hit the button.
Hit the button.
Hit the button. Button has been hit.
Button check.
Have we ever done a cold open with 3 people?
We kind of did a little bit, but it was basically just a cold open of us. We kind of excluded our guests. So John's been listening, so he should know about our gold opens.
That's a good point. They're fantastic. I still think we should make a podcast where it's just that. And the intro is the outro. There's no intro. And you just scream cold open, and then the show ends.
Yeah, Richard has stopped listening to the whole podcast and just listens to the goal open.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's where it is. That's where the little, Honestly, I kind of do that. And the reason is that usually when we do shows, I can remember the shows. Like I can remember what we talked about during the show. But the stuff that happens before that, it falls out of my head.
Well, we're so far ahead, like just with stuff going on, that I forget about what the episode's about. And then it pops up and I'm like, that's hilarious. Shawn, you are.
I can remember because
these guys are great.
You do a pretty good job with titles. So you do a pretty good job with titles. So I can usually see the title and I'm like, oh, that's right. We were doing that thing.
Skip.
No, not skip. First 5 minutes.
So, John, when we're done and you're ready to kick into the episode, you just got to yell, "Gold open!"
Yeah.
So I got a good gold open. So, it's after Christmas when this episode comes out. But
right,
do you guys feel like the weather in our area has gone from like kind of cold to like warm? And I am not in the Christmas spirit because of that. Like, it does not feel like almost the middle of December.
So you're saying climate change has killed your holiday spirit?
I guess so. Highs and lows, man.
Yeah,
we're supposed to have snow tonight.
Who knew? It was an unnecessary casualty.
Yep.
It's been for the last
unforeseen.
Years. Yeah, for the last few years, it's kind of been like that for us. It's actually kind of been more like a winter as I remember as a kid nowadays this year than in the past. But it's quickly gone away though as well. So I'm just staring at basically a muddy yard right now. It rains, snows, sleets, melts, and today it was a cold day, just a cold day. But yeah, it definitely for a while it has not put me in the holiday spirits. And for whatever reason, my tree in my front yard, the leaves don't drop until basically sometime in December, like the first week of December. And even this year, they still haven't dropped yet. and so our leaf pickup is all gone now. It's not until April. So I'm like,
you just got to go out there with a blowtorch and be like, well, you're not picking them up. What else am I supposed to do?
Exactly. Yeah. So definitely, I'm still like waiting for second Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah,
I would think that
feel.
Setting your yard on fire does not help the climate scenario. I mean,
yeah, I would say so. I think.
Well, since the yard's on fire, I do have these spare tires in the garage I've been meaning to get rid of. We'll just chuck those on there.
Hey, take some
old
paint.
washer. Yeah.
What am I going to do with these hairspray cans? Oh, let's throw them in there too.
1980s hairspray.
Hang on, let me empty them out first.
I want to be safe here.
I'm hot. Are you hot? I'm hot.
Quick, turn on the air conditioner. It's December. I know, but it's warm.
Yeah, it's like 85 degrees out. I don't know what happened. It was the Aquanet. Who knew? Sins of our fathers would come back to haunt us. I remember like when I was a kid, it seemed like when it snowed.
Yeah.
And when when it was cold, it was cold. But now it's, yeah. Like last weekend, I think it was like almost 70. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Well, these last 3 days have been like 28, 29 here. And it was like 6 or 7 years ago. We had just a ton of snow. So we still get it, just not as much. Or not as recent.
Yeah, it's been on and off for us. That's how I feel too. Like, as a kid, I just remember it constantly being snowfall pretty much from December up until maybe early April. And for whatever reason, besides 1 year in Michigan, we just got hit. We broke the record, but that was maybe 7 years or so ago. Other than that, it really has been pretty mild winters, which hasn't been too bad for us because usually they can get pretty rough.
Well, I mean, ideally, when the ice caps melt, then like where the three of us are situated at, it should be. I mean, we should be sitting quite pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You know, we're gonna have like coastal property. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna start buying some houses right now. It's hold out on them. Might take a few years.
All right.
You know.
Yeah, you know, Lex Luthor had that idea.
Where's the 10,000-year floodplain right there? Yep, buying it there.
You're just recreating the plot from Superman 1.
And Return of Superman.
Yeah, and Superman 3.
Just a big real estate scam.
It's all it was.
That's all it ever was. Yep.
All right, guys, let's bring it in. Let's bro huddle.
Aw.
Oh, that's right. I got to start the show. I was just sitting here thinking, like, you know, that's actually not a bad idea. I was having a Lex Luthor moment.
Yeah, right.
Luckily, I still have hair. All right, let's start the show. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of romance. Today, Shawn, is... I feel like I say this a lot, but today is a special day. It is the day that comes every year, once a year, every year, like clockwork, because you schedule it. So, first off, good job on scheduling it.
Yeah, Richard, for the 8th year in a row, we're bringing on one of our bestest internet friends in the whole wide world, John. We're bringing him on for Bro Huddle 2022. John, thanks as always for joining the show.
Hey, I just want to say thanks to you guys because you still let me on these things. This is great. Thank you.
It's crazy to think about doing this for this is the 8th time we've done this. Like we were just talking a little bit like it's not Christmas spirit, but I do feel like it's Bro Huddle season.
Absolutely. Yes. I always look forward to this. And this is, it does, it's just that scratch for me where, or scratches that itch, strike that, reverse it, where I need to podcast. I need to do something. I haven't been able to, and it's been my outlet. And this just kind of helps me. It re-energizes me. It's that quick little bump before the end of the year. And it's like, okay, I can keep going until finally I take my vacation and not think about anything.
Yeah, it's a good kind of bump. You don't have to go to the bathroom and then close the stall door. You're not doing it on top of the back of the toilet.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't have to put your foot under the stool and tap your foot, and then some dude named Bert's there's like, hey, you want this here or there? And you're like, or is that just me?
Where are you buying cocaine?
Oh, I thought we were talking about comic books.
Wow.
The market has been so crazy. Pandemic's really driven things up, so I can understand.
I'm still looking for Ronin number 5, man.
Whew.
Hey man, got you the Ronin books?
But as always, if you don't know what we do during our bro huddles is we don't like to look in the past. Like, what did 2021 give us? Who cares? What we want to know is what 2022 has in store for us. Guys, there is 3 2s in this year. It's difficult to say. It's 2022. I think in an episode, Rich and I talked about years, and you say 2022 or 2022, and I say 2022.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. 2022.
I say 2020 plus 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
2020. Oh man, I hope it's not 2020 season 3 because that's technically what it would be.
Yeah, right.
But,
man,
that's a bad juju right there.
Well, as we said in the 2019 episode we did, you were the one that kind of set 2020 on the path it went. You're like, we've got too much stuff. Let's slow it down.
That's a good point.
And the podcast gods are like, here you go, Richard.
That's right. And if you've noticed, since then, I've been like, you know what? Everything's great. And
But John, I will let you start us off with kind of the thing that you're, like I said, it's movies, TV, video games, comics, books. It's anything and everything you're excited for 2022. So I want to know what the first thing on your list is for the next year.
Yeah, so I was taking a look at everything, and I think for 2022 we're getting hit with some a lot of big blockbusters, and that's not unusual, which is nice to see. But the one thing that really struck me, and it was one of those, I forgot about it, and then I was looking through of what to expect in 2022, and I saw it again, and I got extremely excited, and I'm very interested, and I'm holding high hopes for the Lord of the Rings Amazon television series.
Oh yeah, have they had trailers out for that yet, or just still talking?
There's been no. I think all I've heard is that they've casted for it.
Yeah,
that's all I've heard. But they've bought like 3 seasons of it, from what I understand.
Was that the one they shot a pilot and then scrapped it and like restarted over? Or is that something else?
I have no idea. I honestly do not know.
I don't know.
There isn't really a lot of big info on it.
Yeah.
Which is weird considering it's slated for 2022. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen nothing.
Do they have a date on it at all, or?
For some reason I want to say September, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, because if they give you like the December 31st, 2022, you're like, yeah, you're not coming out. That's like Rich with Cyberpunk. Like, no, they said December 31st. Like, yep. Richard, it's not coming out this year. I'm sorry, buddy. No, Richard. And then it comes out, and he's like, I wish they waited.
Yeah. They delayed it 3 times. And I'm like, they should have waited.
So, do you guys know any what time frame it's taken place in Lord of the Rings or anything at all like that?
Honestly, no. I'm pretty much going blindfold in. I'm like wondering what they're gonna do. I'm really hoping that it's not gonna be a stinker, but I've heard some mixed reviews on
pre-Hobbit.
Is it pre-Hobbit?
I've heard pre-Hobbit, I think, in the timeline.
Oh, sweet.
So it's it's no Bilbo, no characters in terms of...
Is it around the time of the creation of the angry-eyed guy?
No, I think from what they said, it's supposed to take place during the Second Age. So basically leading up to the battle at the very beginning of the Lord of the Rings, that they have in the opening montage kind of thing. I think it's supposed to be around that time, from what I think. I'm not 100% on any of this, so don't take what I say as gospel. I think that this is just stuff I vaguely remember, and I'm not sure if I remember it accurately.
Yeah, right.
So John, where are you in the Lord of the Rings fandom? I've passively tried to watch it. I think Richard, I wouldn't say he's obsessed, but he's a big fan, I would say.
I've watched them. I've watched them all. Watched the extended cuts. Watched the extended cuts with director commentary.
Oh wow. Yeah, I went to theater midnight showings back in the day. I've read the books as a teen. I don't remember hardly anything though, so I don't know from movie wise, from book wise, but yeah, I've watched the extended editions. We just actually at the beginning of COVID, we actually bought the Blu-ray extended editions, so I got to sit down with my kids and my wife, and we got to watch all those together. So it's been one of those that's been in and out of life for me. Definitely enjoy it. I'm not, the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, but I definitely, it is up there. That helped kind of solidify fantasy for me in a way. So that was almost pretty much The Hobbit. Yeah, pretty much an opener to fantasy for me as a kid.
Yeah. The house on which D&D was built.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without that, Richard, you and I aren't friends, and probably without that, John and us all don't meet. So
yeah, right. An interesting butterfly.
Thanks, Bilbo.
But yeah, I'm excited to see like the first trailer for it. It's one of those that I don't know if I'll go out to see just because I have so much stuff on my plate already. But that's one I could probably see like hearing somebody talk like after 2 or 3 episodes, like, oh my God, it's so great. I could jump into it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
I mean, Wheel of Time's out now, and I haven't. It's definitely like fallen out on the list of things that I want to watch.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely fallen out. So it might end up being one of those things that like I'll wait until there's like a big backlog, or wait until there's like 5 or 6 and then start to work through it.
Yeah. I've heard mixed reviews on Wheel of Time right now, so that's what I'm interested to see is if Lord of the Rings is going to get the same treatment. But it sounds pretty positive for the most part. I haven't heard too many negative reviews of that, so yeah, I'm thinking they'll do an okay job with Lord of the Rings. At least I'm hoping, anyway.
Spend enough money, so they should.
Yeah, right.
And the guy who wrote it's dead, so you don't have to worry about waiting for it to come out.
So much money. So much money.
Speaking of our favorite author, George R.R. Martin, and it ties into fantasy, I'm excited for, I think it comes out in January, HBO Max's House of Dragons.
I think they should have a fantasy show where he finishes a book.
Richard, you shut your dirty mouth. They'll come out one day.
This is high fantasy. Look, it's him at a typewriter, and he's actually typing.
Yeah, that guy, like, it's funny because, like 10 years ago, people were like, hey, you need to finish these books because you're old. And 10 years later, the books aren't out yet. And it's like, man, we're not getting them.
Right.
Now you're really old.
Yeah.
I think now everybody's at the point, like, you have kids, right? Like,
I don't think he does, actually.
Oh, shit. And kids can't even finish it?
Yeah. Does he have kids? I thought he was single.
No idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure, actually.
I mean, in his case, like, I don't think it'd be that hard, right? Like, I'm George R.R. Martin, and I'm trying to make some kids. Like, well, I don't think he'd have like that hard a time.
Well, even if he doesn't, I thought like you were saying like it'd be easy to say you're his kid. It's like, hey, I'm George R.R. Martin's kid. It's like, I don't think you are. It's like, do you want these fucking books or not?
Yeah, right?
That's George R.R. Martin's kid.
Yep. Yeah, right.
But they had a trailer for it, and this takes place in the age of the Targaryen, like right at the time when they kind of start their downward spiral. I think there's like the Dance of Dragons is the part of this. George R.R. Martin wrote. He didn't write a book to finish the series. He's like, hey, let me go back in time and write this thing that's like a Bible.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it currently on Audible, and it feels just like you're listening to somebody like read, the history in the Bible, like the part where they talk about like all the different families.
So-and-so beget so-and-so and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And so like you kind of forget the names because they're all the same.
Yes.
So they kind of start running together.
Yeah, because they're related, Shawn. That's why they're the same.
It's true. But it's not done by the two guys who ruined Game of Thrones. So the trailer looks awesome. It looks like they're kind of going to do it justice. So I'm excited for House of Dragons.
I'm curious to see how it's going to go over with an audience because, you've got a group of people that are salty that they haven't seen another book. Then you have another much larger group of people that felt like they got burned by the last season. So, I mean, they're kind of like this show's kind of coming in as with more to prove than it should.
I would say it has a lower bar because if it comes out and just does like mediocre well, people are going to be like, this is so much better than the last season. It's like, well, at least we got this. I know we don't have a book, but we got this.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in it. I didn't realize that one came out of nowhere for me. I thought we wouldn't see that until like 2023 maybe or 2024. Sometimes I'm just amazed at these things that get announced and then they're like, oh, it's out now. And I'm like, wow, maybe I feel like I'm in the 90s again when something gets announced and it's like 3 years later and it's in pre-production hell and all that. They just move on these things. I'm so impressed by it. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what this is going to be about. I have high hopes for it. I do. Only in the regard of, the last season was definitely such a letdown. And you really got to screw up something royally if you can't get excited for this new season. Like if they can't do anything for that, like that's all on them, man.
And I don't know if either of you guys have seen the trailer, but like they've done like the throne. They've done it correctly.
Oh, really? Oh, sweet. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
It's still a little because like in the like George R. R. Martin's thought with the throne was it was like, you know, like 30 feet tall, right? And it was just like a cascading of, you know, melted swords. And so it's still the Iron Throne as we kind of know it, but it's got a little bit of that cascading of extra swords that kind of lead up to it.
Oh, sweet.
So it looks a lot more intimidating. So I'm pretty excited to see like just that unfold.
Yeah, right.
But House of Dragons.
There's a doctor with white hair in it. One of the doctors is a Targaryen in the show. Matt Smith.
Oh yeah, he is. I forgot about that. You said doctor, and I thought like, well, I mean, they have the one dude that has the chains.
No, he was doctor.
True. He looks pretty bad like he looks intimidating in this too.
It's kind of off-putting when you see it. You're like, whoa, okay, all right.
I gotta watch this.
Did not expect that.
Like stark white hair, like is just something that I don't know. I don't know if it's just been too many horror movies / serial killer movies that it kind of like instantly like, oh, that's a bad dude. But Richard, what do you have for some excitement for 2022?
Okay, all right. So first off, and I'm not sure what the actual date on this is, but it's slated for, I think maybe November. But there's been a little teaser about it, and I am super pumped for it. Obi-Wan.
Yes. Nice.
Obi-Wan is slated for 2022.
That's on my list.
Getting Hayden Christensen back.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen's coming back as Vader.
Yeah.
You've got Ewan McGregor is doing his Obi-Wan thing. It's going to be set just after episode 3. So you're going to find out like what the fuck Obi-Wan's did for like, 18 years chilling on a desert planet. But it looks like he wasn't on the desert planet the entire time.
Wait, yeah, because he dropped Luke off. Yeah, that's kind of shitty if he left. It's like, hey, your dad's Vader. Good luck.
See ya.
No, I'm saying like it looks like he like
Deuces.
It looks like he was like obviously like he stuck around Tatooine, but it seems like he wasn't there, 24/7 for 18 years straight.
Yeah, I could see probably like after a couple of years, like realizing that they didn't know where he was, like leaving and coming back, or maybe thinking he had to leave just because he didn't want to attract any attention.
It's entirely possible, but yeah, I'm super pumped for it, and I'm especially pumped for it now, considering that the newly minted head of the person in charge of the overall Star Wars, story arcs and everything is now Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni now has like pretty much ultimate creative control when it comes to all things Star Wars.
Yeah, right.
So I know they set the schedule for the lady. I can't remember what her name is.
Ahsoka?
No, the lady that was in charge of everything.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah. So is she just kind of there's like a
I think she's still the de facto head of Lucasfilm. So I think the scenario that like you and I talked about for years, that what should happen is put Filoni in charge of creative matters and put Kathleen Kennedy in charge of finding money for it.
Yeah, right.
That's the way it should be, and now that's the way it seems like it is. So I feel like from a story perspective, like it has me excited for every single show coming down the pike.
Yeah,
because now I feel like there's a much more a much more caring hand at work, making sure that these stories are good and accurate.
Yeah, right. Where it doesn't seem like it's just a cash grab.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Marvel has going for it. Like with Feige running the show, you have a vision, a person with a vision, and they kind of set the tone. And, you get to make your movie, but here's the parameters you got to work in.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah,
I like that.
And now Filoni is in that position when it comes to Star Wars, which I think is what everybody had been wanting since 3 movies ago.
And there's been no trailer or anything for this, right? Just like
no. Well, there's just like a little featurette.
Gotcha.
Is all that we've seen so far is this little featurette with Ewan McGregor being like, "Hey, I'm going to be Obi-Wan and I'm super excited." And Hayden Christensen's there, and there's like a little maybe 20 seconds of the two of them actually like fighting with lightsabers again.
That's sweet.
All right. Well, John, what do you have for your next thing for 2022?
Yeah, so I think one thing that I might go differently on. I can't remember if I've ever had a video game on my list before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I saw that they are coming out with Evil Dead the game.
Yeah.
And, I absolutely love the movies, the franchise anyway. And as late teens, early 20s, I think was like the last time that they had a Evil Dead game out, like for the PS2 or whatever. And so I definitely have been interested in seeing what they're going to do with this. Something a little different. I don't play terribly too many video games. With COVID, I have gotten back into gaming a little bit more. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what they do with this. I know just recently Bruce Campbell himself said, "Hey, I got to retire from playing Ash," but I'm really, it'll be really interesting to see where they go with this, how they're planning on doing it and developing it. We've seen, like, the games themselves have always been pretty popular, at least same sort of thing with the cult following, and they've been fun. I think with the Friday the 13th game that was released a couple of years back, that a lot of people had quite a bit of fun with that. And I think we're in due for another great horror franchise game to come around. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the Evil Dead.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's in that same vein of Friday the 13th. From what I understand, like there's a list of playable characters, and they span from the 3 movies, and I think possibly the show. So if you want to play Eric the Red from Army of Darkness, then you go right ahead.
Yeah, right.
And punch people in the face.
So is it an online multiplayer?
So we'll see how it goes.
Is that an online multiplayer?
I'm sure there's an online multiplayer component. I mean, any game now pretty much has to have that included.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. If anything, I think it's kind of a mix. From originally what I was reading, it sounded like, they're going to focus on the gaming aspect of it itself, like the story. But who knows? It might go into the multiplayer realm of things. I don't do too much of that. But
yeah, I also think with that, it's like Friday the 13th, where you can actually play as the bad guy, as the evil entity, or whatever.
Like the Deadites and all that.
Yeah.
Because the Friday the 13th game, I think that's all they have is that, like, you play Jason or you play a camper.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Or you can play Tommy Jarvis, and you can run around and be like, "I'm Tommy Jarvis." Dramatic leap. I did see. I remember seeing a gameplay trailer for it, and it looked cool, and I was down for it. I was super into Evil Dead as well. So I am curious to see how that one gets received.
Yeah,
because Friday the 13th, it seemed like it was really, really popular for about like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like it just kind of dropped off. So I'm hoping that they not only start strong, but are able to find ways to keep it kind of fresh.
Yeah, right. I'm in the same boat. I know that's just kind of falls in line with horror. Just in general, it seems like. I think when Richard, like you said, for Friday the 13th, that one, I basically got the game after the popularity died down on it. So it was basically me playing the computer, maybe like 3 other people every once in a while. So yeah, definitely. I still had fun though, but
totally.
I think I'm hoping anyway that we'll get some fun with this Evil Dead game. They're making it sound like it anyway.
Yeah. And it seems like it's something that they're actually like putting a good effort into, and not just making something and then slapping a IP on it and then calling it a day.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, I'll keep on the video game train.
Shawn, what do you have?
There is. Did you guys ever go like skate?
I'm so excited. I feel like I'm the only one that ever talks about. I'm the only one that ever brings up video games. I'm excited that everybody else kind of brought something to the table. This is good.
Did you guys ever feel good? Did you guys ever spend a lot of time at like skate lands or like roller skating rinks and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Shawn. Back in the day. I grew up in a small ass town. Like like
what was
that was all we had.
There was 2 4-player games.
There were 2.
Every kid loved to play. First one was X-Men.
Yeah.
And what was the second one? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I was just gonna say the Turtles. I would have to say a runner-up would probably be the Simpsons. That would be in there too.
Yeah.
Simpsons.
But they are coming out with, it's called TMT Shredder's Revenge, and it's in the style of that famous TMNT arcade video game. And I think it's across like all consoles, PC, and everything. So I feel like that would be a fun one to pick up, play with the kiddo, kind of get to relive some of those experiences where you don't have to spend, $30 in quarters just to win the game. But it's one of those, like, it's been a while since I've played a game where it feels like you just can kind of pick it up whenever. Like most games, like we talked a few years back, John, you and I started playing Witcher, right? You don't play that for, 3-4 weeks. You pick it up. You're like, what do these buttons do? All right, I'm done.
Did you, Shawn? I know I know you haven't finished Witcher. Did John finish Witcher?
No, I haven't either.
No?
I haven't either.
Yeah, I got to like level 20.
Get your lives together.
We both have children under the age of 10. They take up a lot of time.
That sounds like a you problem. That's what that sounds like.
I tell you, my experience in gaming recently has been Fortnite. So
I'm sorry.
A lot of Fortnite for the kiddos too. Hey, we want to get this, Dad. Okay, well, let me sit here and take out a bunch of other parents and 12-year-olds.
What's that guy doing to you, Dad? Why is he sitting on your face? So he's celebrating.
Over and over.
Yeah, no, nothing makes you feel like such a noob when a kid blasts you in the face and then starts doing their dance like right by you.
Yeah.
It's like, you little shits, back in my day.
Yeah. Where do
you know what? I pay taxes.
Yeah. God damn it, I vote. Why is this happening to me?
But yeah, it seems like I think it is all up to 4-player, but you get to pick your favorite character. So I think the biggest battle with that is who gets to play Leonardo in my household. So I'm sure I'll relinquish that. But yeah, I'm excited for that TMT Shredder's Revenge game. I think that comes out like in May or June time frame.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that will be a pickup at our house too, definitely.
I do like the fact that it's in the arcade style and it's not in the Nintendo style where it's just unbelievably hard and all you want to do. Like I feel like there's a reason that Nintendo controllers were made as durable as they were, because I threw that controller so many times playing Ninja Turtles. Oh, that game was infuriating.
Yep, you had to get to the dam with like 2 turtles full health. And you had to time it right, like as they started losing their health, getting hit by the electricity, you'd quickly pause, switch turtles, and keep going.
Well, the dam wasn't an issue for me. It was just everything. It was usually everything after.
Yeah, I only passed that like maybe twice in my life, and you're in that van running around.
Yeah. Why are you bringing up terrible memories from my childhood, Shawn?
Nintendo didn't play around.
No, they didn't.
Well, Richard, what do you have for your next item?
See, now I feel like I want to bring up a game. There is one game that kind of has me curious. So Bethesda is kind of in their redemption arc at this point. So the last big major thing they had was Fallout 76. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Fallout 76, when it launched, did not go over well. It was quite the shit show. So they're kind of, on the back foot. I mean, they still, figure out some ways to be like, hey, let's, put Skyrim in your smart fridge and they re-release it on pretty much every single piece of technology you own. However, they are working on a new IP, which is slated for November of 2022. That game is Starfield.
Yes.
Heard about it. It sounds awesome. Not on PlayStation.
No, it is not on PlayStation because Microsoft shelled out a big dump truck full of money to buy Bethesda. And so, Shawn, not only will Starfield not be on the PlayStation, but the next Elder Scrolls game will also not be on PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because I know like Starfield, I read or heard that they had a PlayStation like build, like they were working on it side by side.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah, and so a lot of people are like, well, maybe Starfield will come out because it's kind of already done. So why wouldn't you at least put that out as well? And so I don't know if it'll be because Bethesda's always been Microsoft first and then PlayStation like a year or two later.
Yeah, but they weren't owned by Microsoft when they did that.
No, that's true. But you have had crossovers like MLB The Show is a Sony exclusive, and that just released on Xbox this year and PC.
That's okay. I mean, I guess that's true. Horizon Zero Dawn just last year put out a PC version of the game after it had been a Sony exclusive for like, I don't know, 3-4 years.
Yeah, and Sony's they've got their own like I don't know if it's an initiative or what it is, but they're starting to push more of their games to PC and stuff as well. So Sony, and it could be because of a lot of that buying up studios and whatnot, that Sony and them are just kind of starting to push because it's, is it more they're getting away from the hardware and more getting into the studios? I don't know.
I don't see Microsoft letting Bethesda release games out for the PlayStation. I
think so.
Like no, not after they spent $4 billion.
Well, I think that's where you get the exclusive on Xbox for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then they release it and you get the extra push.
That's what I was thinking too. Like you start seeing that kind of roll out. Or maybe they are like, hey, we'll give it to Nintendo, but sorry, Sony.
Yeah.
It's everyone else but you.
I mean, I don't know. That's
maybe not. I feel like snubbing your nose at either console at this point. You're just saying, okay, you 100 million people that have the other console, we're not giving you this game.
I mean, Master Chief would like a word.
Yeah, I was Halo, and trying to think. I mean, what Sony's with Metal Gear Solid, but he did.
Yeah, but they put out a Metal Gear Solid port on granted, it was one of the shittier ones. I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, when was last? Like, do you play Halo on a PlayStation 5? No, you do not, and you haven't ever.
Well, and Halo's never been available, so it's like as a Sony fanboy, it's never been kind of in my like realm of playing. But in terms of like Bethesda games, they are. So like if Halo came out on PlayStation, I wouldn't get it. Because I just don't like those kind of games anyway. And I don't know the numbers. I figure like the Bethesda games sell more than the Halo does. Even just console to console.
Well, I don't know. Halo's got...
It's got that is a huge franchise. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we always just make the Skyrim joke, right? Like you said, it's on everything now, and they're re-releasing a new anniversary edition of whatever, and they're just making bucket loads of money on that. So
yeah,
that's what.
Why put out an Elder Scrolls 6 when we can release Skyrim 40 times?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of been like, I'm a big Rockstar fan, so I love like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
But we've gone 2 consoles without a new Grand Theft Auto because of that. Because it's like, wait, we can just release content on our online and make even more money.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting 5-6 years from now what the gaming landscape looks like for that stuff, because it's kind of gone away from, because the hardware like Xbox and PlayStation, they're very similar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're getting like a bump either way. And that's why you're seeing Sony and Microsoft buying all of these studios, because that, I feel like that's where they think all the money's going now. So, and that's kind of the question is, are they just going to say that's pushing our hardware, or is now the studio games is what's really pushing the business and the hardware is just an extra thing?
I mean, I think it's definitely going to start becoming an exclusivity is going to be king. I feel.
Yeah, not for.
If you're a third party developer, then of course there's going to be some extra sunken costs because you're going to make something for everything.
Yeah, and if they do that, it'll be 2 different, because Microsoft may stay that where everything's exclusive. But I know, like in terms of Sony, they probably still will have some exclusives for sure. I just don't see them not doing that.
Well, the difference I would say there would be also that Xbox operating system, or the Xbox operating system and the Windows operating system obviously are very similar as opposed to Sony's operating system. So it's easier to go to it. If you're a studio and you're thinking, can I make one version that would work for 2/3 of the market, or do I have to sink an extra cost to build for this other third of the market? And especially if you're owned by 1/3 of the market. Like if you're owned by Microsoft and be like, you can make PC games, you can make Xbox games, but we're not going to throw any extra money at you to make to build for this entirely separate system.
Yeah, and that could be Microsoft's mission or their vision on that. But I know Sony's not. They're basically going to start pushing stuff out for PC. I think even some Xbox stuff. Because God of War, like there's talks like that's going to be coming to PC soon. If it's not already on there, I can't remember if it's been released on that or not.
It is not.
I thought I saw something or heard something that
I think it's planning on it.
Right.
Yeah,
a new God of War looks fucking fantastic as well.
Yeah, right.
If we're talking about 2022,
yep.
I feel like we kind of skipped over Starfield, but
well, you don't really know much about it except it's Elder Scrolls in space, which
that's what it looks like.
Like, I want more spaceship stuff. Like, Cyberpunk, the little bit I've played, like, I kind of like that futuristic, Grand Theft Auto feel instead of fantasy. Like, I like fantasy, it's okay, but having the more futuristic stuff, like, I want a laser sword. I want laser pistols. I want to fly a spaceship.
There was a game made by Obsidian called Outer Worlds, which was very simple. Think of like Fallout New Vegas in space.
Oh, wow.
It's exactly how it felt. Very, 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 very cool. And so, yeah, but I completely agree with you. Like, you get a ship and you have a crew, and you zip around in your spaceship and you land on planets and you hang out and do stuff. Like, yeah, give me that. Give me all of that. I want that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot. Oh, go ahead, John.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just agreeing. I think that's something that we haven't seen on a big scale in a while, of having basically an outer space sandbox game, and I think that's something that we've desperately needed. And yeah, I saw that when the name of it, the release of it, I thought, ooh, what do we got going on here?
Yeah,
piqued my interest.
I lean more towards single player, towards single player stuff. So Starfield is definitely in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I think like even going back to the conversation of like the two big companies buying up these studios. I mean, when once Bethesda was bought by Microsoft, and you heard that like Starfield's not coming to the PS5, there was talks that Sony and them are looking for studios to try to build their version of Starfield and their version of Elder Scrolls. So it will breed competition. Will those games be good or bad? A la Killzone versus Halo? I don't know.
There was one game, I think it was coming to PlayStation 5, Forspoken. That looked really cool as well. It looked like you like flipped between these two different worlds, and it looked like one in one world. It looked very kind of present day or whatever, but then it almost looked like you were flung into like a far future where you could kind of see where stuff might have been, but there's dragons and you're using magic and stuff like that. It's like it's kind of like the Shannara Chronicles. Like you get like phased forward into this like far-flung future where there's magic and dragons and monsters.
Oh, that's sweet.
That looked very interesting.
Yeah.
That's also 2022 as well. So yeah, God of War, Forspoken, Starfield, all stuff slated for 2022. So I guess since we're just running the gamut of video games.
Well, I'm just looking at video games for PS5. There's a game called Elden Ring. I don't know what that's supposed to be about.
Oh, that is Dark Souls.
Is it Dark Souls? Okay.
Yeah, it's basically this exact same studio. Basically, think like Dark Souls 4.
Gotcha.
So I would say that is probably not your cup of tea. You know who helped work on the story of Elden Ring? George R. R. Martin. I'm just throwing that out there, okay? So do with that what you will.
Well, John, what do you have for some more stuff for 2022?
All right, so just to change things up a little bit, I'll end with movies. I was looking through all the movies, and there are a ton coming out, but I think the one that has really struck interest in me has been the newest Thor. So I'm going to be interested to see
Love and
Thunder, what they're going to do with that, how they're going to manage that. I've enjoyed the last Thor. I was really surprised because I liked the first one. I thought the second one was just okay. And then the third one came out and I was like, oh man, that was great. And, oh man, what's his name? I always mess up his name.
Taika.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Having him involved with it has just definitely jumped things up. I love everything that guy touches. And so I am definitely excited to see where Love and Thunder is going to go.
Yeah, because we're getting to the point where he's kind of one of the last originals, right?
Yeah.
Because it's him and Hawkeye right now, and who else? Hulk. Well, technically not Hulk, but
yeah, you got Bruce and Thor, and if we're going with the original Avengers, and
then
Black
Hawkeye.
Widow's gone, and Hawkeye. Black Widow's gone. Tony's gone.
Cap's gone.
Steve's gone.
Yeah, Steve.
Which, we've talked about it a few times off and on air, but like, right now where the Marvel Phase 4 is at, like it just seems so up in the air. Like we're recording this before Spider-Man comes out, which I'm going opening night, which I'm super excited for. It's so, John, since I've moved, there's a theater like 30 minutes away. It's in like a small town, leather reclining seats.
Fantastic.
Right.
The theater's like 50, like less than 50 seats.
Oh, nice.
So very small, intimate type thing. So I'm super excited for it. But like that feels like that's the big kickoff to Phase 4, even though we've really been in Phase 4 for what, a year and a half technically?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, no, technically it's been long. It's been like almost 2 years.
Almost, yeah.
Because the way I understood it, that the last Spider-Man movie was supposed to be the the last Spider-Man movie was supposed to be the end of Phase 3. So basically everything after the last Spider-Man movie, which came out Phase 4, in like what, 2019, like summer of 2019.
Was it summer or was it winter of 2019? I don't remember.
And I don't remember either.
That was like, that's in the before time. That was a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Before time. Yeah. No, because I thought was Black Widow supposed to lead Phase 4? Because then that got pushed back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of stuff got delayed, but then I think other stuff came out before Black Widow, which was part of Phase 4 anyway. And
so WandaVision.
Yes, yeah.
Loki.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yes,
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Eternals and Shang-Chi are the two newest movies.
Yeah.
You got
and that's what feels like. I'm halfway through Shang-Chi. Like I got halfway through. I'm like, this is okay, but I don't feel connected. But then the question is like Venom and Morbius. If we're kind of following the Marvel stuff, like that seems like it's crossing into the MCU that we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like so far, Phase 4, I guess, is it just everything feels very disjointed. Like you're not really seeing a lot of things. You're not seeing the web connect together yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not sure if that's by design or if it's just something that we're not seeing because we're not supposed to see it, or we're not seeing it because it isn't there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know. And I think too, if we didn't have COVID, we probably would be feeling the same way. It seems like, because they pretty much, a lot of this stuff was pretty much already done. It was just in post-production.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know what the plans are. It's been crazy. I've stopped reading because the comics, just because there was a time where too much was coming out, and I'm sitting on like 10 large boxes, I kid you not, of stuff I haven't read. And so I was just like, it's too much for me. Too much is going on. So really the movies have kind of been satisfying, that the comic geek side of me. And I'm so backed up on that stuff too. I mean, like, I was hoping to watch all this stuff, and I finished WandaVision not terribly too long ago, and I've been meaning to watch all the rest of the stuff, just haven't had the time to.
Yeah, if you're like, I'm I'm lucky to get like, if I have like 2 hours to myself at night if I want to stay up till midnight to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like an hour of video games and then try to watch an hour or something. But like when Dexter's out right now, so like that's must see TV. We've talked about wrestling before. Wrestling's kind of my must see TV where I try to watch it. Even 2 hours, well, it's technically 3 hours of wrestling a week now. Like it takes me the full week to watch it because I watch it in like 20-minute chunks when I have time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get behind any of these, like Falcon Winter Soldier, I got behind on, so I haven't gone back to it. And now you're talking like, this year in particular, you've got Boba Fett coming out.
Yes.
You've got Hawkeye that's out right now.
Yeah, I feel like, should we include Boba Fett in the 2022? Because the release date on that's like what, December 30th or
Something
29th
like that,
or something like that.
Right?
But yeah, like you're saying, John, movies have always kind of been like the thing that I can grab onto before 2019 or 2020, because every Wednesday I'd go see a movie with my father-in-law. And now even those are starting to pile up because it's like, well, you got to watch it at home now. And it's like, okay, well, like, Venom, for instance, I didn't go see it in theaters, but I got to find a time to watch it, when my kid isn't up and stuff like that. Because I don't know if that's quite appropriate for him.
I mean, okay, if COVID didn't exist, then, I mean, where would we be on the timeline? We'd be at Doctor Strange is where we'd be.
Yeah, right.
Which Doctor Strange is now set for, I think, March.
Yeah, I think so.
And I feel like Doctor Strange is... I'm getting the impression that Doctor Strange is where hopefully like a lot of this is going to like start to come together.
Yes.
If things haven't like started to kind of coalesce and you understand the overarch by Doctor Strange, by the end of Doctor Strange, then I don't think that it's going to be there.
I think all that's going to be set in motion with Spider-Man because Doctor Strange is in there, and that kind of really sets up like the tie into Loki and all that kind of stuff.
And WandaVision.
Yeah. And I don't know if either of you guys saw Venom, but apparently there's some stuff in Venom that kind of relates.
That's what I've heard. I haven't seen it either. So
yeah.
But yeah, and like I kind of tied on to yours with Morbius. Like, you know, I'm pretty excited for that. That's like January or February, I think.
Yeah.
And you've got people breaking down the trailer for that, being like, oh my God, like there's 3 different types of Spider-Man in this. So I think this crosses over too. And so it's like now, which is like every geek's dream, right? Like if Fox is like, you know what, let's combine our universes. Let's make it one universe.
Well, I mean, they're owned by Disney, so yeah. Well, Sony's the one that owns Spider-Man.
Sony, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
it is. And then, you know, everything else on top of that and the speculations, and apparently Disney Plus just took off Fantastic Four, and so that's leading people to be like, ooh, is there going to be Fantastic Four coming up? And yeah, it'll be...
So you can't watch old Fantastic Four on Fox or on Disney Plus?
I don't believe
apparently
so.
Not now. They just took it off.
I don't know if this is set for this might be set for 2022, but they are continuing the X-Men animated series.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
And I guess that's supposed to take place like right at the end, like it ties into the old one.
Yeah.
That's genius. Like that's super smart.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Because now, like, there's like 4 seasons of that, like 60-some, 70-some episodes.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, and those are like pulled directly, like pulled almost word for word from the page.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you got people stuck on Disney Plus even more. Be like, all right, kids, we got to watch this because there's a new season coming
out. Shawn, do you have? Is there? I mean, I feel like we're there's a lot of like movies that we're mentioning like tertiarily, like, oh yeah, and this is coming out into like. And then, like, how does this fit into this? And
we can kind of power through a few. So, like, I guess I'll mention like the one that I'm pretty excited for because it's just our inspiration, Kevin Smith, is releasing Clerks 3 in June.
Yeah,
that was on my list.
I'm a little in most of his movies that he's released, I'm a fanboy. I've bought in, like, you know, he's going to take my money no matter what.
Yeah.
But I'm a little worried that this might feel a little bit like self-masturbatory because the whole plot of the movie is Randall has a heart attack, he survives, and he's like, you know what, I want to make a movie. And so it's really kind of like them making Clerks 1 in Clerks 3.
Right.
And
it's meta on meta.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And like to me, if it ends up like, you know, basically Randall becomes Kevin Smith in this movie, I'm gonna feel like, all right, like that's a little too like happy ending ish, like, you know, because like Kevin Smith is like a 1 in a million shot, right? Like to me, what I would love to see is at the end of this Clerks 3, it follows like the Kevin Smith storyline. He goes to the film festival, he shows up, and there's nobody there. And you don't replay the situation where he met like some exec who really got them kicked off, but instead you feel like at the end of it, it bombs, and Randall is, it's like, you know, he's got this debt, all this stuff, and you know they're talking. It's like, oh well, shit, what are we gonna do now? And I want the last line of this to be as Randall's like, you know what, this was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. I'm gonna pay this off, and we're gonna do it all over again.
I mean, that would be nice. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, because that's always been a Kevin Smith thing, because he said, like, in that moment, he was like, oh, shit, like, I've got $30,000 in debt. What am I going to do? And then he had a sense of calming where he's like, you know what? This was the most fun I've ever had. I'll get it all paid off. And then guess what? I'll just do it all over again. But I have a feeling it's going to go the other way. But, you know, it is what it is in terms of movies. But, yeah, that Clerks 3, like, I'm pumped for it. Like, I'm glad he's still making movies. He talked about stopping years ago, and I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I am actually shocked that neither of you have mentioned, really more so you, Shawn, than anybody else. You haven't said word one. I figured this would be like one of the first things you said. John Wick.
It's on my list.
John Wick.
I'm telling you, Richard, this list is the biggest one I've ever had for a bro huddle.
Oh, wow.
There's so much stuff coming out.
There is, man. There definitely
It does
is.
feel like floodgates have opened. I completely agree.
Because you even talk about John Wick 4, like the Continental, the prequel to John Wick, I think, is supposed to be out this year. Or it's been talked about for years, or a couple years, but Yeah, no idea where this is taking place. They haven't really talked about it too much. I'm a huge fan of John Wick. And I hope that they try to bring this one down to earth a little bit, because the other one got a little excessive. Because I think that's the good thing about John Wick, the original, is it feels set in reality.
Oh, I was all for it. I didn't care. Be some weird Superman with almost Neo-like powers. I'm fine with it. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
have you guys seen all three of them?
I am ashamed to admit, because I think maybe we talked about this last time, I still have not seen any of them. And I've been waiting for that time. It's been one of those where the first one has never gone on to some streaming device, and I've just been waiting for it. And then when it did happen, I missed out. And so there was an opportunity, I think last year, maybe it was the Sony PlayStation Store or something, was hey, all three of the movies, you can get them all for $20. I was I'm going to do that. And then when I went to do it, it was already gone. The sale was gone. And I was man. And so I told myself last year, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch all three of these, and it never happened. So I can't wait for it. I'm going to do it one day.
See, that's what kind of upsets me about the whole streaming thing we have now. We talked about Fantastic Four. It's if I want to watch Fantastic Four, it sounds like I can't.
Yeah.
Unless I have the digital copy.
Yeah, right.
And with John Wick, you said, you could have bought all three, then 2 weeks later, hey, we're taking this off the store. And you're but I bought it. Yeah, too bad.
Yep. No, wait.
Who do I call? Call Mr. Amazon. Oh.
Yeah, right.
He won't take my call.
Mr. Amazon, I'm a Prime member. Don't care.
But wait. One thing that we just learned about 2 days ago that I'm kind of pumped for, Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes, that was on my list too. I absolutely loved that. That was I just watched the trailer on that teaser trailer for it. Oh man.
For part 1?
Yes.
So the question is this going to be an MCU crossover thing too?
I know, right? It's crazy.
Oh my god, are we going to see Miles Morales in No Way Home?
Oh, I mean, they've been hinting about that for a couple.
Are we going to see an animated Miles Morales? Well, no, wait. I'm trying to think. No, Miles has not been in the movie. His
cousin,
cousin has been played by
Glover.
It's Childish Gambino. Yeah, Don Glover.
Yes, yep, Don Glover. Yeah,
because he has the URL. It says Dong Lover. It's didn't think that one through. Yeah, I kind of wish. I mean, he's probably a little too old now, but I think he would have been a pretty good.
He'd have been awesome.
Yeah.
It would have probably had to been an older Miles though, because he's in his 30s now, right? He's got to be.
Oh
yeah, definitely.
I don't know who you'd have play Miles at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure,
but
I think they'd probably pick a younger kid to do it. Maybe. I mean, just like Tom Holland.
I don't know who does the voice for the games, but I can't. I don't know off the top of my head who does the voice for the games, but that's a possibility.
Well, John, do you have any kind of quick hits of stuff out there that you're excited for?
Yeah. Actually, I had a few things. I was excited about Doctor Strange. I know there was another one that got pushed back, but I am interested, Richard, like you said. I feel like that's going to be the one that kind of brings everything together.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. I am very excited about Willow. I think that's going to be a fun one. When they were announcing that, I haven't looked at the cast. I know Warwick Davis or whatever had announced the cast or something for it, but I'm trying to go in blind on that one as well. And another video game wise, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild sequel.
Breath of the Wild Part 2.
Yeah. I absolutely loved playing that first one. I thought it was just visually stunning. It was just so fun to play it, and I'm very much looking forward to this one as well.
Yeah, the game awards I think are in a couple weeks, and so I think a lot of people are speculating that if Nintendo is going to drop any news about it, they'll do it then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So hopefully there'll be some news about Breath of the Wild 2 within the next few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping to mention some books or something, but I'm like I said, I'm so far back on my reading. I have a bunch of stuff right now that I'm trying to read. So I didn't really. I looked through the list of 2022 books, but I didn't see anything that really made me go, "Oh, hey, I gotta try to get this one." So I'm sure there is something out there, but for now, I'm gonna try to finish the rest of those Stephen King little novellas and a few other things that I'm working on too.
Yeah, my big one, comic wise, I'm trying to get through Ronin. I think I'm through the first. I think it's a 4-issue run. I think I've got the first 3. I don't remember if the 4th one's out or not because it's been like just sporadic when it's come out.
Yeah, right.
But it's been really good so far.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been wanting to catch up on that one. Read that.
Movie wise stuff that I'm excited for, like Scream, that comes out in January. I was a big Scream fan, and I don't know if you guys seen the trailer yet, but what really got it for me is like in the beginning of because I mean, Scream, everybody knows, right? It's calling the house. It's calling the phone on the house. And in this day and age, like her cell phone rings. I'm like, well, how would that work in nowadays? And it keeps ringing. She finally answers her cell, or it calls the house phone first and she just ignores it. Then it calls her cell phone. But because all these houses are so Wi-Fi enabled and locks and stuff, like, the guy has control of that. You're like, oh shit, that would be the scary movie now. It's like you're not safe in your house. Scream, a la Scream, but now you're not safe in your house because now they can get in.
Yeah, right.
Google is the monster.
Yeah.
Oh, scam likely. No, thank you.
Jurassic Park Dominion.
Yes. Yeah.
Basically dinosaur apocalypse. I'm all for that. Let's see. I guess they're doing a Salem's Lot remake.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I've heard nothing on it other than they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I feel like that's kind of one of those underrated Stephen King stories and movies that you could probably do it pretty well and get away with it.
Yeah, right.
There was I can't remember which, I think it was Apple maybe, or maybe HBO Max, but Station 11. It might hit a little bit too close to home. But it's basically, I think this was all shot, like started in 19, but it's based off some books, I believe, but it's about the bird flu that caused a big pandemic it made it actually more kind of like post-apocalyptic style.
Oh, wow.
So that one might be kind of interesting. I know nothing about this besides the name. I thought Richard and I should go see this together, even though it's probably not any good. It's a movie entitled Bros. And apparently,
it's not the Mario Brothers in it, is it? Because
no.
I don't need to see Chris. Need to see Chris Pratt doing the voice of Mario.
Apparently, this is a movie about 2 men with commitment problems that attempt a relationship.
You have to review this.
We should go see that together.
Yeah, which it's kind of iffy because like bromance, like Language of Bromance, I think in like one of the Asian countries is like a sub like homosexual category.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Are you subscribed to the R Bromance Reddit subreddit? Yeah, you should. It's interesting.
That's funny.
The post can get interesting.
Yeah, whenever I look up like Language or Bromance for like books, it's like, some Asian country homosexual novella. My last 2 things, wrestling, it's still been one of my favorite things to watch. And then I added it last year, but White Sox baseball. They did well last year and they're continuing to do well. So pump for that.
Nice.
I would be remiss because there's something that hasn't been mentioned. Batman.
Yes.
The Batman.
Yeah.
The Batman. And he looks very, very sad. Is like you have like I think Shawn, I feel like I've said this to you, but like you watch a Batman movie and then you hear they're coming out with another one. They're like, and then you say to yourself, well, at least he can't be as sad as the last Batman. And then they managed to top it. Every single time they managed to top it. Like, you saw Ben Affleck as Batman, and then you heard they were coming out with another one. Like, well, at least he's not going to be as sad a Batman as Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck was really sad Batman. They can't make him a sadder Batman. But guess what, Shawn? They made him a sadder Batman. I didn't know that was possible.
Well, Ben Affleck was like grumpy Batman, and now like this dude is like, I am sad.
Like, I am so sad.
I'm so sad. Gotham never sees the sun. It only rains.
Oh my God. He looks like the saddest man on the face of the earth. Oof. I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Like when he's punching people, like looks all like pumped, and he looks pissed off and angry. And that's how I figured Batman would be.
Yeah.
But even as Bruce Wayne, he looks so sad.
Yeah, I don't know how true it is, but I know that there was a little thing online that supposedly said the studio wanted Robert Pattinson to gain like 20 pounds of muscle for the role. And he was like, oh yeah, sure. Okay. And he just didn't do it. He was like, yeah, all right, fine. And they're like, what happened? He was like, I didn't feel like doing it. It's like,
nice.
Good on you, man. Good on you.
I was too busy being sad. I was working on my brute face.
He's like, I figured I didn't want to take that HGH and those steroids. So.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
No, it's all natural. Sure, Dwayne. Sure.
Yeah.
The other Marvel show that's on my radar is also for 2022, Moon Knight.
Yes, Moon Knight.
That looked good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was the other Marvel show. Like because they did put out this like, hey, these are all the Marvel shows coming. And out of all of them, Moon Knight was the one that I was pretty giddy about. In terms of Star Wars, you have obviously Boba Fett, which is technically 2021, but Obi-Wan. The other one I'm super pumped for is Ahsoka. That show is probably going to be amazing, because we got the little taste of Ahsoka in Mandalorian season 2, and all I wanted was more. Like, just put her on the screen doing all of the things, because she was fantastic. Rosario Dawson nailed that role.
Agreed. Yeah, she definitely did.
That was a big internet casting too, because even before she was announced, the internet was like, Rosario Dawson. Yeah. That's who plays this character.
Yeah. Yeah. And the internet was right, because they're always right. Please don't hurt us, internet.
Well, the other thing I like to do at the end of this is look over what we talked about last year and figure out the things that we didn't see that we wanted to. So John, just the first one you talked about was the new Spider-Man, which you get a pass because technically it's not out yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Doctor Who you talked about, Rich?
The new, well, they did put out, I think they've put out a little bit. There's been like maybe 2 episodes. But I mean, so far from what I've seen, I'm digging it. I think this is going to be Jodie Whittaker's last season. So no news yet on who the next Doctor will be. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm down for it.
Lots of HBO Max talk. So we talked about like Justice League, the Snyder Cut, WW84, Saints of Newark, Dune, Mortal Kombat, Suicide Squad, Matrix, which isn't out yet.
I was very happy with Dune, and I am so glad that it did well enough that they're like, yeah, we're gonna make another one.
Oh, they better. I would have been so pissed, man.
Right? Well, it felt like, I remember when they first released, it was like, well, they haven't said they're making another one yet. And I'm like, and after I watched, I was like, you have to. You can't do that. You can't just be like, oh, I think we're done for now. Like, no, you have to do another one.
So what's interesting about the HBO Max, we had kind of a general talk on the death of movie theaters. So I kind of think it would be interesting because The last movie I saw when we did this was like the Killer Santa Claus movie, like where Santa Claus was played by what's his face, the guy who did the Christ movie.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Because that was like the only movie out, and we did a review for it. But I think since then I've been to maybe 4 or 5 movies this year, maybe 6. And so
2. I've been to 2.
I'm starting to get, because I saw Ghostbusters. I saw like 2 kids movies. Dune I saw in theaters. A couple other ones, but like I'm gonna go see Spider-Man in theaters. So it's starting to get me out more, but the theaters are not packed when I'm there for sure.
That's nice. I mean, from around my area, it's still kind of packed. I've in the beginning it wasn't, but now a lot more people are going in, and that just makes me not want to risk it. Go to them.
Yeah, for Ghostbusters, my theater wasn't very full.
Oh, that's nice.
And that was opening night. It was maybe half full, maybe.
From what I've been told around us, it was exact opposite. That it was just like full of people, and I mean, which was nice for Ghostbusters because it did better than they thought it was going to do. I've been patiently waiting. I'm waiting on that one. I've been wanting to see that for a long time, and hopefully we'll see Spider-Man. I think we're going to try to one of these days see it. Hopefully at a time where not everyone's there, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it's going to end up. Like, like you talked about, like around your area, it sounds like they're kind of thriving and doing well. Like in our area, it's not so much. So I don't know if you're just going to see like more like 4-screen theaters pop up that are like 50 seats and it's like $15 a ticket to go, or if it's, I just can't even guess where it's going to be in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah. Right.
Because it sounds like the whole like HBO Max, like let's just push it out for everybody. There's a lot of pushback, and they weren't really happy with it. Because like Dune was one that they almost didn't get to do a HBO Max release on because of some of the stuff going on with that, and it sounds like HBO Max isn't doing a lot of that next year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they've only have a couple, I think, that they're doing next year, and that was on the tail end. But yeah, it sounds. I don't know. I don't know. I guess if. They seem to get a lot of success. The other ones were with, hey, we're dropping the movie at the same time in the theater and on demand. You just pay $20 or $25, and
I did that for Black Widow.
Yeah, so
and I was okay with that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm totally fine with doing something like that.
But the problem is, then that costs the studio another $60 million when they get in lawsuits.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, no one was expecting this stuff to happen, so.
No, yeah, for sure. I talked about Ready Player 2. That book came out around the time last year. Fabulous. Loved it. Richard and I did a review of it, or I told him about it. Just was a really good book. I'm excited if they do another movie for it. Let's see. So Rich's video games, Arkham Knights, I think that got pushed.
It did get pushed. It's 2022.
Zero Dawn, did you play that much?
I did not play I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn. It was coming to, or it released on PC, but I haven't touched it.
Resident Evil 7.
I did mess with that a little bit. It was on Game Pass. It was on PC Game Pass, so I messed with that for a little bit. It was interesting. It was definitely a solid. Because the last couple Resident Evil games were not that great, and so Resident Evil 7 definitely it was very different, but at the same, but good different. It was good different.
And then Hitman, did you play Hitman at all?
I did. That was, I mean, that was okay. It probably wasn't worth the hype that I had for it, but it was still, it was solid.
Well, and your biggest thing from 2020, our Bro Huddle, was that you were hoping that I would get my hands on a PS5.
That's true, and
which
you did.
I successfully did.
Nice.
And again, like back in 2020, I think we're all saying, like, if you were to tell me Christmas 2020 that I couldn't get a PS5, I'd call you crazy. And here we are a year later, and it's like, yeah, you're not getting one.
Yeah, you're not getting. Yeah, it almost felt like you had more of a chance last year than 100%. You do this year.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And we did mention John and I playing Witcher. We're both about 6 hours in. And I am 26 hours in. No, I think I broke like 50 hours on it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I went back to playing Red Dead Redemption, the original, and I wanted to replay Red Dead Redemption 2, but then I got stuck in a Fortnite loop.
Let's see, if this was last year, I would have been like knee deep in Cyberpunk at this point.
You had just you played like through character creation on Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And then John's last thing, you mentioned Shang-Chi. Did you get a chance to watch that
Not
at all
yet.
or finish it?
I want to.
Okay.
I was very excited about it. I've heard good things. Definitely one of those Master of Kung Fu has been one of those books that I loved growing up in the comics. So still excited to see it. Definitely.
Did you get Candyman? Did you get to see that one?
No, I didn't get to see that yet either.
This is the depressing part. Halloween Kills.
Glad. I feel like I've got everything on my list. What was the last thing you said, Shawn?
Halloween Kills.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. It was on my list to watch, but again, that was a tough one because it's like I got to make sure everybody's asleep because if Tiffany or Jacoby come down and see that, like game over.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was definitely the same. It was late at night watching that, hoping the kids weren't going to come into the room and be like, "Hey, that's Michael Myers." Oh my god!
So
Man, it was
in our old neighborhood, there's a guy that dressed up as Michael Myers for Halloween every year. So Jacoby's kind of been obsessed with it.
Nice.
When we left the movie theater after seeing, I don't remember what movie it was, and the movie theater that I go to now has like a drive-in. And as we're leaving, they're playing Halloween Kills on the big screen. Jacoby's like, "Why is Michael Myers in the hospital?" I'm like, "No reason. Get in. Don't look. We got to get going." And last, it's been going on right now. And John, you were the one that brought this up, but Dexter New Blood, the final season / sequel, is out right now.
Yeah. I haven't watched anything yet, only the preview for it. So I'm definitely, that's one of those, it's on Showtime, and I was going to see if I could find like a deal for a Showtime stream.
They had one going on for like the first month free and then $4.99 for like the next 4 months.
Oh, sweet. Well, hopefully they're still doing
so
that.
Yeah, it's like 4 episodes out right now, and if you're a Dexter fan, highly suggest it's really, really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel like if there's anything I want to try and get Shawn to watch, or if there's anything I want him to play, I'm just gonna tell him Dexter's in it, and then he'll act, and then he might actually do it. Then I'll be like, Shawn, you should play Witcher. You know, if you get like 100 hours in, Dexter shows up. He'd be like, really? And then he'd actually play it.
Like, are you sure it's 100 or is it 150? Oh, maybe it was 150. Okay, I'll keep
I think it's
playing.
in one of the DLCs. I don't remember.
But John, thanks again for jumping on Bro Huddle 2022. Huge success as always. Where's some places that people can find you? Or is there anything you want to throw out there in the internet verse that you're up to?
Oh man. Once again, I have to say thank you guys. I love you. I miss you. And this is always so much fun. I'm still kind of laying low, actually. I know we've talked about still kind of doing the Jean-Pod Van Damme cast. We did release an episode back when his Netflix movie dropped. And that was all just on YouTube. We just decided to go the YouTube route of it. But yeah, if anything, that's probably the only thing currently. We're still once in a great while we'll do something with the Accidental Wrestling Fan, but even that we've just kind of put on the back burner for now. But yeah, just kind of been chilling, hanging out, and waiting to see if I can get a bigger house to try to actually have a room that I can do some recording and stuff in, which would be nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been like you're in your kid's room right now. You keep telling them to be quiet, and they're like, "Dad, we're so tired." Like, shh, Daddy's doing a show.
You know how important this is to me.
Well, yeah, John, as always, thank you very much. Like, we've had you on, I think, like 2 or 3 times this year. I'm pretty sure we talked about last time you're on. You're our most frequent guest on our show.
I love it.
That's true.
And hoping some of these movies come out or we get you on a couple times throughout the year again like we did last year. That's my hope because, again, I enjoy talking to you all the time.
Absolutely.
So. And I haven't broke it to Rich. Like, yeah, I'm still trying to get him off the show so you can take his spot, but, you know, we'll figure that out.
Wait.
Why don't my brakes work? I don't like confrontation. Oh, he fell in the water.
Hey, welcome to the Language of Bromance.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Fredo. That's what's gonna happen.
But Richard, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts for the last show of 2021, Bro Huddle 2022?
Let's see. 2021 was it was a year of, you know, trying to get back to I feel like it's probably taken the entirety of 2021 to get back to where we were almost. You know, it's like 2020 was the drunken night where bad things happened, and 2021 was the waking up and reconciling with the terrible night that you had.
I got to do my community service.
Yeah. But you know what? It's 2022 now. So it's the shackles are off. Maybe. I hope.
Yeah, right.
And maybe 2022 is the year that, you know, we woke up, we drank our orange juice, we, you know, had a really like messy, like super greasy breakfast to like get in our stomach.
And then hit the gym.
Like, yep. And I was like, okay, like I'm feeling good. I think I'm ready to go outside now. So we'll see. But
yeah, I know my 2021 was personally one of the tougher years I've had, just with so much crap happening. So yeah. I'm glad to have made it through. All my family's made it through. You know, very excited for what's coming in 2022 because, yeah, I know 2020 was its year. 21 was a year for me. And it just kind of puts in perspective like these moments, getting with friends, getting with family, and just kind of enjoying time together. So that's kind of my mantra for 2022. Like all these things I'm going to see, I want to experience with other people.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, before I start weeping, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website, it's languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. And we like to thank the two that follow us year to year, our patrons, Wendy and Aaron.
Your 2022 is probably going to be amazing because we will it so. All three of us.
All right. Well, is there anything else before I close it out, gentlemen?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, that's all the Bromance have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I'm John.
And remember, don't be a why. Be a why not. Oh, man, that was in sync.
It was. It's gonna be me.
I was gonna make a Backstreet Boys joke.